Hey anime fans, welcome to our channel Anime Rewind. In today's video, we're going to recap a 2021 anime series named Mushoku Tensei. So without wasting any more time, let's get to the video. The story starts with a critically ill patient waking up in the emergency room. He saw a couple standing in front of him. Rudius was the name that they gave him when he was born. Rudius was reborn as a baby, and now he lives with his parents and a pretty maid. His father is well known in the village for being a good swordsman, and his mother is a magician. This is a world where people use magic and swords, and there are many other races besides humans. The story of a 30-year-old man who moves to a new country to start a new life. Rudius found a book about magic by accident when he was 5 years old. For magic to work, it needs to be able to recite indentations on the first try. Rudius was able to use magic. When he made a water ball, he found out by accident that he could use magic without reciting spells. Rudius began to educate himself in intermediate levels of magic, and as a consequence, he drove everyone else out of the room. Because of his obvious intelligence, his parents decided to have him take magic lessons from a private instructor. Rudius' instructor is a sweet and bubbly young lady named Roxy. She teaches him the fundamentals of magic to him. Attack magic, healing magic, and summoning magic are the three primary categories of magical power. Rudius did a great job. Roxy was taken aback by the fact that he used magic to throw a water ball without first reciting any spells. He picked up new skills extremely fast and was soon able to perform intermediate level magic. As more and more time passed, he forgot more and more about his previous life, which had been a failure. As a reward for successfully completing the training, Roxy gives him a magic wand for his birthday. Since she is unable to impart any further knowledge upon him, it is now appropriate for her to depart. Because Roxy wanted to demonstrate to Rudius how to perform more advanced forms of waterbending, she used the magic wand to produce precipitation whenever she desired. Rudius did this only once, but as a result, he was able to perform more advanced magic afterward. Rudius has developed into an experienced and skilled mage. After saying her goodbyes to Rudius and the rest of the family, Roxy presents him with one of her good luck charms. Rudius was old enough to go to school. On the way, he saw a group of kids picking on a little girl. He took action right away and taught the bad kids a lesson. Sylphiad is a mean girl who has blue hair like a Superd. Because of this, everyone in the village avoids her. Rudius and Sylphiad become close very quickly. Rudius will go to school at the city's magic school next year. He wants Sylphiad to go to school with him, but Sylphiad's family can't pay the tuition. Rudius asks his father to help him find a part-time job. The next morning, while Rudius and his father were practicing swordplay, Rudius' father suddenly attacked him and knocked him out. He woke up with a demi-human in the car with him. His father told him in a letter that he was going to teach a girl from a wealthy family. Rudius was taken to the family of the Boreas, who had been around for a long time. There, Rudius would teach Eris. Eris is a rude and bossy girl, and when she met Rudius, she hit him in the face right away. Even Eris's former tutors quit their jobs because she was so mean. Rudius comes up with a plan to make Eris aware of the danger outside by pretending to kidnap her. However, the servant overheard the plan and told it to Eris. Eris and Rudius were locked in a dark room when they woke up. She was so angry, so the bald man yelled at her and hit her. Rudius was watching the bald man do a great job on stage. Noticed something strange after a while. He found out that he was in the hideout of a group of thieves. Rudius used magic to stop the iron door from closing, and then he led Eris away. The thieves went back to look for them, but they were gone when they got there. When Eris finally succumbed to her fear, she listened to Rudius without being instructed to do so. When they arrived in the city, they walked straight into a snare that had been set by criminals. It was revealed that the servant in question was actually a member of the band of criminals who had blackmailed Rudius by exploiting his plan to abduct Eris. Rudius used his magical abilities to launch flaming projectiles into the air. They were fortunate enough to be found in time by the girl who was half human and saved by her. The servant had every intention of escaping, but the girl who was only partially human caught her. In the end, Rudius was successful in bringing Eris back without any complications. After all of this, Eris agrees to let Rudius teach her. Every day, as part of his job, Rudius is required to improve his sword skill with Eris, learn additional languages, and instruct others in the art of magic. Rudius' birthday is celebrated in secret by everyone in the Boreas family. Eris's mother wants Eris to get married with Rudius. When Rudius returned to his room, he discovered Ares sitting on his bed in his pajamas, waiting for him to return. Because he couldn't deal with how much he liked Ares, he hurried over to the bed and tried to pin her down. Ares went into a panic as a result. Therefore, he was struck repeatedly until he was in pain. Then Ares told him to wait 5 years and she would do it with him. There was a peculiar cloud hovering in the sky. It exuded a potent air of magic, which caused everyone in the room to feel uneasy. Rudius sensed danger. A stranger wearing a mask showed up and attempted to kill Rudius, but the half-human girl intervened and prevented him from doing so. Rudius and Ares were taken to a barren land by a beam of light that fell from the sky and covered everyone. There was a shepherd right next to them. His name was Regard, and he saved them by accident. Regard is said to be dangerous and bloodthirsty, but Rudius and Ares found that he's very kind and gentle, and he now walks them home. They went to a city where many people of many different races lived. The people coming in and out of the gate were also closely watched by the gatekeepers. Rudius found a blue stone, and he thought of a way to make up for Regard and get through the city gate. They went to the Adventurers Guild to register the party as a dead end. There, they lived as adventurers and did high-level quests to make money to send home. This time, they have to kill a mysterious monster in the forest. When they got there, they found another group that was surrounded by a huge snake that moved very quickly, despite its size. Ares had to use the terrain to beat it. Suddenly, they heard a scream, and a giant cobra that was bigger than the snake they were fighting came down from the sky. It was the boss of this forest. Regard rushed to use a spear to pierce the snake's body, causing his cousin to be badly hurt. This gave Rudius the chance to use magic to kill the snake by shooting it in the stomach. The ruler of the forest finally died, and on the way back to the hotel, they made up spam about him. He knew that Rudius had just gotten a lot of money, so he said that Rudius's party was a group of pet kidnappers. At this point, Regard couldn't hold it any longer, so he showed the beastman his green hair, which made it shake. Regard tried to knock the beastmen out with threats, but when their identities were found out, they had to leave. Regard decided to shave his head and put a towel over his third eye. They kept going back home. That's all for this video. Hope you have enjoyed watching this video. So, who's your favorite character in the movie? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so that you'll never miss any updates.